Hey guys, we are glad you are here. This is another powerful time. This is one of my favorite subjects and one of our favorite guests. So today we have the wonderful money coach Mary RN, myself, and we are honored to have our special guest today, Alisa Reiss, talking about one of the most important topics, the importance of rest. So Alisa,
Something
So,
Hi.
Elisa, um, jump in and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, sure. My name is Alisa Reiss. I am a financial coach. My company is called Reiss Financial Freedom. I'm wearing our lovely t-shirt with our logo here. Um, it is my mission in life to empower people to overcome their financial difficulties, rise from the ashes of their adversity, and transform themselves into the beautiful, magnificent, powerful people that they really are. Um, and I'm really, really glad and thankful, David and Mary, that you asked me to be on the podcast today. So thank you.
It just wouldn't be the same without you. So, we lost Mary, but she'll be back shortly. Um, so, why the topic rest? Because it makes me want to, just go to sleep right now.
Well, you know what? I'm really glad you asked. And I want to answer and actually start out our conversation with a story. And I heard this story a few weeks ago at a conference that I went to for my church. And I want to tell this story as it was said in this meeting. And it says, years ago, our family had a little black dog, a toy poodle named Lady. Now, Lady was smart, energetic, and great at fetching a ball. In fact, she was willing to retrieve a ball anytime, any place, and for long as anyone was willing to throw the ball. So one day, after repeatedly throwing a ball for her to fetch, I decided to throw two balls at the same time, one blue and one yellow. Okay, Lady chased after the blue ball, picked it up, began to run back to me, then saw the yellow ball. She dropped the blue ball, dashed to the yellow ball, picked it up, and started back to me. Then she seemed to think about the blue ball again. She dropped the yellow ball, went back to the blue ball, picked it up, and then began returning. Well, as she was passing the yellow ball, she stopped, dropped the blue ball, picked up the yellow ball, and resumed running back. Then she dropped the yellow ball, turned around, scampered back to the blue ball, picked it up, and began running to me. As Lady passed the ball again, the yellow ball again, she came to a screeching halt. She dropped the blue ball, looked back and forth from the blue ball to the yellow ball. Then she gave up, walked to her basket, and lay down. So for Lady, two balls were too many. She became confused, overwhelmed, and discouraged. Now tell me, we're just like Lady, only we don't have just a blue ball and a yellow ball to chase. We also have a red ball, a green ball, a brown ball, an orange ball. You name the color, you have that ball. So have you ever felt like Lady, just running back and forth, and you get to one ball and you drop the other ball and you chase this ball and you just keep on going? Yeah, me too. And so that's kind of why I decided to talk about this topic, because I've seen many of my clients just become so overwhelmed with all of the balls that they are chasing. And
Yeah.
they get overwhelmed, they get frustrated, they get confused, and then ultimately they give up. So I'm going to ask you both an honest question. Okay, and I want you to think about this. When was the last time that you felt truly rested? And I'm not talking about just a full night's sleep.
1979.
Okay, I feel like there's a story there. Okay, so the last time that you actually felt mentally clear, emotionally steady, and not like you're carrying the weight of the world. So 1979. Talk more about that there, Mary.
Now I issued it out
You
because
just threw that out.
who knows?
Who knows? What about you, David? When was the last time that you felt
You know
truly
what I
rested?
thought was funny? Mary went so far back as 79. Me, I would have thought like 1999. I have the little running joke, it's let's party like it's 1999 because the year of 1999 we partied like there was no tomorrow because we thought the world was going to crash. Now I'm in computers and I knew they had fixed the 2-digit year date to 4 digits, so I knew it wasn't going to happen. But I still partied like there was no tomorrow. And so I was kind of thinking of going back to something like 1999 because we literally thought everything's going to end, so who cares?
Yeah,
And so that would be like a great, no stress, no anxiety, no worries, no nothing. It's like, whatever.
yeah.
That's where I would have taken it. But she goes way back to 79. So, Elisa, how far back would you have gone?
Well, I can see why both of you chose the years that you chose. I mean, 1979, Mary, I was, well, this is going to date me. I'm not going to tell you how old I was, but it was, yeah, I was very young in 1979. And you know what? It would be fabulous to go back to 1979 because my biggest worry in 1979 was, is mom going to make dinner tonight? That was my biggest worry. And David, I don't know, 1999, I was not in technology. And so I was a little stressed out. Is the world going to continue after 1999, or is all the computers going to crash? So that one was a little stressful, but we all woke up January 1st, 2000, and we were all okay. So that was great. Okay, so let me
Before you go
explain.
on, where would you
Yeah.
have gone back?
You know what? I think I would have gone back, I don't know, at least junior high. Back in those days when really you had no worries.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a full night's sleep, unless you were like me and had this goal of reading so many books. And I'm not a quitter. And so I don't, so I will read that book all night long. And so, but I think I would have gone back to then because I don't know, life was simple back
Mhm.
then. There was only one ball to chase. And then you grow up, you get married, you have children, and suddenly the balls exponentially
Mhm.
um, proliferate. So, yeah, I think I would have gone kind of like Mary, 1979.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
No, when I was in high school, well, I don't know about that, but I know when I was in college, throughout most of my time, I just did whatever. I partied, I enjoyed life. And then just before an exam, I would stay up the night before and I was cramming everything in the night before, trying to get all the information in my head so that I can hopefully pass the test. That's the kind of person I was when I was going through college, or at least the first time I went through college.
I tried doing that, David. And do you remember way back when no-dos? was the trending method of staying up all night.
Absolutely used
Yep.
No-dose and Pepsi before an exam in nursing school. I had the study at my house.
Yep. Well, I tried that a few
Mhm.
times and I learned something very significant for me. No dose does not keep me awake. It
Oh,
puts me to sleep. And so I would take no dose, ready to cram for the exam the next day. And within an hour, I was zonked out. And so that plan epically failed. And so
At least
so
for me, I wanted to catch the next, the next party and the next, I was too busy trying to enjoy life. And, to be honest, the first time I went to college, I didn't really go to college to study, right? Matter of fact, in where I was, there was one college that you went if you study, and there was another college you went if you wanted to party. I went to that college. Matter of fact, I found out when you're on huge sand mountains, you don't play on sand when you're drunk because I ended up going into the ocean. Well, not the ocean, but pretty much like the ocean.
oh
So the
no.
thing is it's like that's the kind of time I had when I was in college the first time. Party days. I didn't really care. To be honest, I didn't care if I passed or not. I wasn't there for the education.
right.
Matter of fact, I had to go back to college to get a real degree because my first one was business economics. Really? What is that?
Okay. So I want to ask you because you said you were there for the party and you partied all the time. Did that ever overwhelm you? No, not at all.
I had no
I mean,
stress, no worries. Matter of fact, if my life ended today, no problem. I mean, I lived every moment like it was it. And if I lived another day, great. I get to have more party. Matter of fact, it was funny because the one time I was on the sand, I should have been dead, because once you go so far into the water, you can't come back up. People have to come down and get you, right?
wow.
And so it was funny because when you're coming from a high point and you go in, you go far enough down where you can't come back up on your own. So I shouldn't even be here. But I lived another day past that. So I was like, sweet. So when you live bypassing miracles, it's like you feel invincible. You feel like I can do anything. Nothing's going to kill me because, hey, look, I came from that. I came from that. There's many times I was in college the first time that I shouldn't have made it. But guess what? I made it. And it's funny because if we don't make it, people will talk about you for about a week, maybe two, maybe a year from the road. They'll think about you. Oh, I wonder how he's doing, or something like that. But you're not really thought of. Now, when you make it, it's like, whoa, what did I just come out of? So it's funny because you really create testimonies. We always say when we were younger and dumber, we did stupid stuff and we learned from them. Well, we had a lot of growing lessons, especially this guy. And I know all three of us because Alisa, we're about the same age.
Mhm.
And so we've probably done about the same type of things or the same amount of things, you know. But the thing is I lived that kind of life that I didn't care. If I was gone, I was gone. If I stayed alive, great. And I wasn't thinking of creating another testimony. I was just trying to live the best moment, live all I can live because I didn't know too much about what life had, right?
Mhm.
So I was all in for the ride. I didn't care about the education.
Right, right. So, David, it sounds to me like you have come from a past of, I would say almost rest, but at least a past of not caring. I mean, in our younger years, we were kind of young and dumb, right?
Hmm.
Didn't know what we know now. But what I
Mhm.
want to talk about is we all grew up and we
Did we?
all, well, I did, and Mary did. I don't know about you, David, So
Two-thirds of us have.
two-thirds of us have grown up. And
Do you notice that the two-thirds that have are women?
Well,
not
have
to
the
run.
child in us at times. At times, we still like. I love kids because when I'm around kids, it brings my younger self out. I feel like I'm younger again. And now I'm in a place where I can't have as much fun as I used to. Not because I can't have the fun, but because my body says you can't have the fun, right? And so I get tired very fast. Like when kids are little, they love to do like airplanes and they like to be thrown around. I might be able to do 2 circles and I'm done. I tap out. And they're like, you just started. It's like, I'm done.
Yep, I hear you on that one. The mind says, yes, you can, and the body just laughs and says,
No,
you're
you
funny.
can't.
Yeah, yeah. Think again.
Yeah. So anyway, back to rest. We we all have all of these balls that are being thrown at us, and we have to chase all of these balls. And chasing all of the balls at the same time, well, that burns us all out, right? Have you ever just been burnt
Yes,
out?
yes.
Yes. Tell us about that, Mary. When have you been burnt out?
Which time?
Pick a time. Anytime.
Well, juggling kids and a husband and a full-time job and then some and all of the things. And sometimes you're like, I'm just done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, did you know? I mean, you're not alone. In fact, I looked up some statistics before I got on. And according to e emission, I think it's emission.com, and that's not emission, it's emission. It's 66% of workers
Wow.
report experiencing burnout.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How long
And
ago was
then
that result done?
what's that?
How long ago was that statistic? Like they always say as
Yeah,
of.
20, it was 2023.
Oh, okay.
So just a few years ago. So you know that statistic is
Is
higher.
higher.
In
Yeah.
fact,
Yeah. Mhm.
another one, and I had it here, but our pictures are covering it. But 75% of people experience burnout symptoms. Okay. So that's a lot of us. In fact, I would say that's most of us.
Yeah,
Feel
absolutely.
burnt out at least at some point in time, right? So, and okay, no surprise here. Some industries report higher levels of burnout.
What?
I know. And Mary, you should know something about this because your industry is one of the highest.
Absolutely is.
Yep, yep. And so we have to ask ourselves if everyone is burned out, is that a people problem or is that a system problem? What do you guys think? I mean, do you think it's the person or do you think it's systemic?
I think it's a combination of both.
I
Okay,
was thinking the same thing. Yes.
okay, talk about that. Why do you say both?
Maybe.
Well, go ahead, Mary.
No, go ahead.
Well, it goes this way. Back in the day, and this might be before your time, Alisa, but back in the day, um, you were able to work one job. The father worked one job. You know, the mother stayed at the house, took care of the kids, took care of the food. You came back from working. You brought the meat. Um, you know, the family was on the farm, and they got the milk and the eggs and all that kind of stuff, and they had to turn the butter and you know
So you're talking 1800s. You're right. That is before my time.
Yeah,
uh,
mine too.
Maybe not before yours, but it was before mine.
way back. But I mean, even back in the day, you were able to work one job, right? One job was sufficient.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, the money's not worth as much, so everything costs more. But inflation and the value did not go up quite like it was supposed to.
Right. Right.
So now, if you have two jobs, you still can't make it.
Mhm.
One person, single and alone, two jobs might be able to get them.
Yeah.
But if you throw a kid in there, now you need three or four jobs.
Yeah.
You throw a spouse in there, and you need more jobs too. So you have nowadays you have both parents working two and three jobs each. The kids don't have no control because no parents are there. So who's raising them? Other kids. And we have no control anymore because everybody is trying to just survive. And when you're trying to survive, you can't really live. We
Right.
have to have the basic necessities first. You know, your stable ground, your shelter, the basic necessities have to be in place before we can even start to live.
Mhm.
So most of us are struggling just to get the basics, the survival done, and then we still have to worry about having fun. You know, we always put our kids above anything else,
Mhm.
Yep.
which is good. You should because they're the next generation. But if you put them above everything else, then shouldn't you care for them too? Not just a roof over their head, but the instructions. Back in the day, we actually raised our kids. Now kids are raising kids. Kids are raising
Mhm.
themselves. And we all know that's not how you raise a kid. We can look at today's world.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you put it like that, and there is no question why the world is the way that it is right now.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
let me
Absolutely.
turn it on to you, Alisa.
Yes.
Um, do you think it's a system problem or a people problem?
Well, kind of like you both have said, I think it is both. I think the system right now is in place to work against people. I mean,
Mhm.
think about it. Think about it because we all have devices. We all have this mindset now that everything has to be happening just like a snap. And if
Mhm.
it takes longer than that,
Yep.
we lose interest or we just go, "Ugh, I can't do that. It's too hard." You know, it's we've got this system that we created, but
Absolutely.
but now we have our children who did not create the system, but they are trying to survive the
Mm.
system. And they only know what we've told them. And so they're growing up in this instant gratification system where they have so many balls that they have to chase. I mean, even at a young age, because like you were saying, David, you were explaining and describing a very utopian society back when families were living multi-generational families in the same household and everybody was working toward a common goal.
Yep.
And now everything has to happen instantly, and nobody, it seems, is working toward a common goal. I mean, families don't live on the family farm. We are driving really fast. I mean, speed limit used to be what, 50? And then it was 65, then it was 70, and now it's 80 in most places. We have to just go, 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 go. And what do we see now? Because of that, we see depression, we see anxiety, we see stress, we see um, like insomnia, and just so many emotional dysregulation. Um, I mean, is it a wonder why the psychology um, field has just exploded?
Right. But we've
And
also not normalized, we still put a stigma around someone who wants to ask for help. And
yeah,
that's terrible.
it is terrible. But I see that that is starting to lessen a
Yes, I
little bit.
agree. I agree.
Or the more people talk about it,
Mhm.
I think that stigma is disappearing.
I'm glad.
Me
We'll
too.
challenge you on one thing.
Okay.
So up here in Michigan, where I live currently, is extremely fast paced, like you were talking. But when I was down in Tennessee, I lived in the country and I worked in the city. And the city was fast paced. In the country, everything was just very slowly paced. And it's like, come on, guys, speed up. And they're like, well, we'll get there when we get there. There was no thought of time. They'll
Mhm.
sit, they'll talk to you for hours. It's like, I've got some place to go. Can we hurry up? So when you're out in the country, and I mean the real country, because I was out in the sticks, like it was a good half hour to the first gas station.
Mhm.
So you had to make sure you had at least a half a tank. You had to make sure you had good gas. And most people always had a gas tank, a carry gas tank, just in case the gas ran out. They always had another gallon to get to the gas station. But those kind of people, they still live with no time. They live a whole different life out there. And I didn't realize until I was stuck out there. Well, not really, because I enjoyed it, but it's definitely a whole different pace.
Mhm.
My
Well,
husband tried that when we first started dating because he grew up in the country. I am a city girl through and through.
mhm.
And we would have a set time for a date and he would get there late. And I said, our date was supposed to start, so he goes, on time is when I get here. And I said, no, it is not. It is if you don't want to continue dating me, but if you want to continue dating me, on time is when you say you're going to be here.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So,
That's interesting that you talk about that because I think culture drives that attitude. I mean, I
agreed.
think about my husband, and he lived for 2 years down in Hawaii,
Mm,
and he talks about the Hawaiians, and
mhm,
when he reminisces, I mean, you can tell he loved Hawaii and he loved the Hawaiian culture. But he talks about how they said, we'll start at 11 o'clock.
mhm.
And then at 11:30, they still hadn't started because time
Yeah.
was not so important. Like your now husband said,
Mhm.
on time is when I get here. Well, that was their attitude. And you know what? They were a lot. I think it's less now because Hawaii has just exploded with industry.
Mhm.
But they were a lot more relaxed
Mhm.
and their emotional well-being
Yeah.
was a lot better because they were not so stressed out. So I have to ask you this. What do you think the difference is? Because I think of the Hawaiians, I think of the Mexicans and the Spanish. They have their siesta
Mhm.
built
Which I
in.
think is a lovely idea, frankly.
And I'm wondering why in the heck do we not have that here?
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I'll tell you, it's because in the United States, we see rest as weakness.
We
We
do.
see it as failure. I
Mhm.
mean, if you are not utterly exhausted and going a million miles an hour, then there is something wrong with you.
Mhm.
So, and I'm just wondering why the disconnect between all of these different cultures? Why is our culture right now the way that it is?
I think we've bred ourselves to be like this
Mm.
because we have we want to achieve more. We figure out, okay, we weren't getting what we want, really. But anyway, so in order to get what we want, we have to move faster, which is not always a bad thing, but sometimes it's like, really? Come on. You need to rest. And sometimes your body says you're gonna.
Yeah,
And it's at the most inopportune time.
always.
I was mhm,
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of
So,
things to do. Well, you're going to rest right now. But I got this.
right.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
yeah. And it's interesting because when we do rest, I would say probably a really high percentage. I would say, this is just in my head, that I don't have an official statistic for this one, guys, but in my head, I would say probably 90% of people, when they do rest, they feel guilty for resting. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
as a mom, in fact, I was talking to a good friend of mine at the grocery store today, and I was telling her, I'm going to be on this podcast today, and we're going to talk about rest. And she was telling me that as a mom, she cannot sleep in the morning because her kids will be up, and she has to be up when her kids are up, even if she has nothing going on at that time. Like her daughter, who, by the way, is in college, living at home, very well able to take care of herself, get herself off to work, get herself breakfast. But mom, I mean, she gets up at 5:30 in the morning so she can work out and do all of those things before she has to leave for work at 7:30. But her mom is also up at 5:30 in the morning, not because she has to go work out, not because she has to do anything, but just because her daughter is up and she wants to make sure she is taken care of, or they're building their relationship, or, you know, and daughter doesn't care if mom is up.
Right.
But we do this, I mean, as moms and dads, even, we're constantly just trying to take care of our family, whether they need it or not.
Mhm.
And so anyway, so what I'm just wondering, I don't know why our culture has become so busyness focused.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question now because the one thing I have to say is I have an official statistic that is real.
Okay.
Okay.
Did Aaron chime in?
So we have an authentic, since we were talking about the Hawaiians, we have an authentic, real Hawaiian, um, that he says, yes, the Hawaiians are laid back, or Hawaii is laid back. So that is an official statistic from an authentic person.
Thank you.
Says the
Then,
person who says that when the waves are good, school is out.
then we also have this other thing too. When he was in the Philippines on a mission trip, the locals there they take an hour and a half lunch break
Yes.
because that gives them enough time that they can eat and then nap.
Mhm.
Yes, the nap is part of their lunch.
Yeah.
See, like I said, why do we not do that here?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy that we don't.
Well, and
Well,
one thing I've found is that up here in the north, we speak very fast, and you have to just listen because we really speak and we have a lot of information to tell, and you really just have to listen up. But then when you're down in the south, it's like if you speak like this, you're speaking too fast. Can you slow down a little bit? But you have to really speak very slowly, and it gets very tiring.
yeah. You know what, David? I'm glad that you brought up tiring, because what I want to talk about now is what what the lack of rest does to your sleep
Mhm.
and your cognitive performance.
Yep.
What does it do to your brain, and what does it do to your body?
Mhm.
What do you guys think? Or what have you noticed? Because
Shutting
you're
down.
both that you've been very busy and overwhelmed and burnt out. So talk to me about how did you know you were burnt out? What did it do?
For me, when I get like that, I just feel like I hit a wall. It's like I cannot go any further. I'll be building on something for my business or something, and I'm a little bit of a creature of habit. And I'll think, why am I so tired? I look at my watch, it's 8:30. 8:30 is my bedtime. And when I get there, it's my brain goes, okay, you're done.
Mhm.
You're done.
Yeah.
You can think you're not done, but you're done. And when I try to push it, then I am not as aware of what I'm doing, and I make a lot more errors. And that's because I'm tired. So I've learned to just go, okay, the good Lord wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So okay, 8:30 is good.
Okay, Mary, I'm just exhausted listening to your schedule. I thought I got up early because I'm up before 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm sorry, 3 o'clock in the morning,
Oh
really?
yeah, sometimes 3:02. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for
Saturday
you.
was 6:30. I thought I had slept the day away.
That's right. The day's half over.
It was. I felt like it.
So, Alisa, what is your busyness? Where does it get to you when it just like is over the top?
How do I feel or
Yeah, at what point is it just like you have too many balls to juggle? Like in your dog story, at what point do you have just one, and at what point do you have two balls?
okay. Yeah, you know what? I know when I have way too much going on because I go from being super sweet and just happy and loving to everybody to seriously turning into the wicked witch of the West and biting everybody's head off. And nobody wants to be around me. I don't even want to be around me. And, it just, and then I know I'm stressed when I can't sleep at night,
Mhm,
when my thoughts just keep churning.
mhm,
And I've had nights before where I have just thought the
mhm,
whole night and not slept at all. And then you wake up grouchy and just, ugh, like you said, Mary, you can't even make the simplest of decisions
mhm.
without double thinking.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah,
We
I
have
can
a good
always tell.
question in the chat for you, Alisa.
Yeah,
With the stress and everything of not being able to go to sleep, do you get 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night?
I do. I do now. Yes. Because, because I recognized the need for rest. And um, what I want to talk about here in just a minute was I did some serious soul searching. And when you have too many balls that you are chasing, something has to give.
Mhm.
You have to get rid of some of those balls.
Right.
And it's interesting because the number of balls you're chasing and your ability to chase well is different for everybody, which is why I'm so against comparing because somebody may be able to juggle 10 balls
Right.
while another person can only handle 3. And so we can't compare and say, oh my goodness, I'm terrible because I can only juggle 3 balls. I can't do 10 like so and so. Um,
Mhm.
so it's very personal. But yeah, I think the amount of sleep that you get is key to your well-being.
Absolutely.
And Mary, you're the nurse, so you're going to have to tell us what is the suggested amount of sleep that every adult should get.
Six
Before
to
you
eight.
say that, Mary,
Sorry,
Sorry.
um,
I said it.
it should be between 3 and 4 hours, right?
No.
No, but nice, thanks for
I had
playing.
to try.
Um, as a multiplier, yes.
Yeah, but you know what? I did read that if you get less than 6 hours of sleep during a night, that it takes you 6 nights after that to recover.
Mhm.
And so, according to this article that I read, there is no catching up
No,
the
I
next
read
night.
that a long time
So
ago.
according to that article, I'm still never out of sleep. So usually through the week, I get 2 to 4 hours of sleep at night. But then on Sunday, that's my day of rest. I usually get about 14 hours of sleep because I have a meeting I go to Sunday morning, but then most of the afternoon, once I get home, I go to bed,
Mm.
so, I still get my 3 or 4 hours of sleep at night, but then I do my meeting and then I have 12 hours of sleep
Okay, so I have a question for you, David. How are you functioning?
because Sunday I get my rest. I catch up on my week's sleep so I
Well,
can do a
okay,
whole nother week.
okay. But whenever I oversleep, because I usually get 7 hours of sleep every single night.
Right.
I mean, I have a very rigid schedule. I am in bed by 10 o'clock. I am up. So yeah, here you guys, this is very personal information, probably TMI at this point in time. But I've already started, so I'm going to finish. So I
Okay.
am I am up at 4:45 in the morning. So from 10 o'clock at night till 45 in the morning, I get roughly about 7 hours of sleep. If I get more than that, I am exhausted. If I get
Normally,
less than that, I am exhausted.
I
normally
get
I
that.
agree with you because like through the week, if I was to get 6 hours of sleep, I'm tired all day. But because my body is like in a mode, it's like you've abused me all week. I'm going to catch up on my rest.
Yeah,
So I can sleep more on Sunday because I haven't slept at all through the week.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, you were talking about waking up at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'm still up at 4, and I'm not waking up. I'm up from the night before. But
oh wow.
usually I go to bed like at 2 o'clock. I always wake up, 6:30, 7 o'clock. But it's like sometimes I'm still up at 4 o'clock. It's like, oh shoot, it's 4 o'clock. I gotta get to bed, so I can get what 2 hours of sleep. Like I said, I get
But you
about
know
2 to 4 hours of sleep at night.
what though? I think it is a really beautiful thing that God made our bodies adaptable
Hmm.
and we adapt to our circumstances and our situation. And I just think that is so incredible because I've also heard stories. I've got I know a CEO of a large company, and she says it's kind of like you, David. She gets, between 3 and 5 hours of sleep every night, and she manages to get by. And so, I mean, and that's great. But again, I think it depends on the person.
Yeah, but now I will
And
be honest. A lot of times when people go to sleep, and Mary can vouch for this. A lot of people, it takes a while when you're sleeping before you go into a deep sleep, before you go into the REM sleep, and then you come back up, right? Well, because I have such a short time, I still go into my REM sleep because you have to be in your REM in order to dream. And
Mhm.
so even in the short, that just means a shorter time before I go into my REM. Now, I don't know how much REM sleep I'm getting because I used to have one of those watches that monitor my sleeping, and I would always count. And it was funny because when I slept more, I got less REM sleep. When I slept
Mhm.
less, I got more REM sleep, which is odd. But on the average, most of the night, I would not be in REM,
Mhm.
and I realized even the short sleep, I still get in my REM. So my question is, do I get as much REM sleep as the person getting 7 hours? Now, we have a person in the room, our wonderful Aaron. He gets 5 to 6 hours of sleep every night. So my
Look at
question
that.
for you, Mary, being that you're the RN, if I sleep 4 hours, Aaron sleeps 6 hours, or Elisa sleeps 9 hours,
I wish.
or 8 hours, do we all get the same amount of REM sleep?
That is dependent on the several things. How the studies show that if you're shutting your screens down an hour before, that increases your REM. Limit your caffeine will increase your REM because your body gets to relax. You get that out of your system. So yeah, there's a lot of There's a lot of things that go into that. So it really doesn't depend on how much you're getting. It depends on what you do pre-sleep. Yeah, there's times that I am falling asleep as my head is hitting the pillow.
Yeah, and that's the key is because like even though I get so little sleep, usually when I go to bed, I don't because when you get involved in work and when you're doing things, you don't even notice the clock, right?
Mhm,
There
mhm,
is no such thing as time. And then you look, it's like, oh my gosh, it's late.
mhm.
Sometimes I look, it's like 3:30. It's like I got to get to bed. So for the last 4 hours or something, I've probably had nothing to drink, maybe some water, um,
Mhm.
blue light screen. So it's just like, sometimes you just don't even realize, and you really haven't had nothing, and it's just like, okay, I'm out. And when you have very little sleep, when I lay my head down, I don't struggle to get to sleep. When I lay my head down, I'm out.
I'm out too.
That's good. Sometimes I'm not out. Sometimes I just lay there and my brain will not shut off. I replay everything that has happened during the day.
Mhm.
I play everything I want to have happen the next day, and just things just go on and on in my head. And that just all depends on what's going on in my life and how
Yeah,
stressed I am
yeah, right.
about everything. So
Mhm.
I want to go back
Elisa, that actually
burnout.
happens to me during the daytime.
Yeah,
My
it
mind
does.
constantly goes over, could I have done that better? Is there a better way to do that? If you would have done it this way, what would have happened? So I'm
Mhm.
constantly, my mind works like that all the time. So I've already played every scenario about 20 different ways. And the next time it happens, I know I'll be able to do it differently way before I even get to think about going to bed.
Well, good, because I do that during the day and the night. So, but anyway, I want to go back and talk about all of the balls that we're all juggling, from work to family to church to, I don't know, what else do we have going on? Work, family, church,
Hobbies.
hobbies, relationships. I
Mhm.
mean,
Before
we
you
are
do,
chasing
before
so
you
many
do, I
balls.
just wanted to say one thing, which is might put a little twist into your story. But when you were giving that story about the dogs,
Mhm.
or about the dog, in my head, I'm thinking, so the dog is looking back and forth. He's going to come up with a way to grab both balls in the same mouth and run with both balls at the same time. It's like the story with the dog with the stick. When he tries to go through with a stick like this, he can't get through. Then he goes sideways and he goes through. Since it was only two balls, he could figure a way where he could put both balls in the same mouth.
Ivy's a chihuahua. Come on.
Well, yeah, then he doesn't have a big mouth. That's true because she didn't say what kind of dog it was.
She didn't know what
I
kind of
did.
dog it was.
I did too. It's a toy poodle.
Okay,
Oh,
same thing. It's kind of the chihuahua-ish, you know.
Yep. Yep. So, but point is with the dog and with us is, you know, there has to be a starting point for the ADHD, and we all are
Mhm.
a little bit ADHD
Mhm.
because we chase one ball, then we come
Yes.
to the next ball, we drop it, we grab the other ball, we run, and we constantly do this. I've noticed this with myself sometimes with work. I'll be doing a task and then squirrel and got to go do another task and then squirrel again. And then at the end of the day, I go, did I do anything today?
Right. What?
that
Nothing
reminded
is
me of that
finished.
story, that
Mhm.
movie.
And
I think
yeah,
it's the hedge, but you got that squirrel at the hedge, and he runs this way, runs back. Nope, not that way. Runs this way, runs that. Nope, not that way either.
yeah. And then we're stressed because nothing got done and we feel like utter failures. And so it's at that point that we go, I am burnt out. So, there are lots of different strategies to overcome that burnout. I mean, for some people, they just need to go sleep. For other people, they have to eliminate a couple of those balls. They've got to get rid of that job or they've got to get rid of that extra thing that's not bringing them any joy or any benefit, they've got to possibly maybe sit down and go
What?
over, ask themselves, what are my limits?
I'm going to just help you out right now. The blue ball and the yellow ball, we have to put those aside.
Okay, yeah, put them aside.
By the way, there was only in the story there was only the blue and the yellow.
I know, but we talked about how we as humans, we're not dogs, and we have a whole lot more balls.
A lot more balls.
Lot more balls. So what do you guys do when you hit this point of burnout? What do you do to eliminate some of your stress so that you can get to a place where you can rest?
What is rest?
That's what I said. What is rest? And that was only because I don't rest. I mean, when I was growing up, my parents always said, we work before we play. But the problem with that is the work is never done.
So you're saying all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Well, they say that too, but yeah, I think all work makes you a very dull person, yes, but it also makes you a very stressed out person.
Well, that's why I have no hair, because I've ripped it all out.
All right, well then, David, I would say you might want to consider making some changes.
Well, it's funny you say that because, speaking of which, changes has come across.
Hmm. So tell us what changes have come across.
Well, there was
How are
this
you resting?
mental fitness that really establishes and brings clarity to your mind, even in the moment. You can just do a simple task to change the focus and look
I
into
was
my
hoping
eyes.
you'd
No.
bring this up. I was hoping you'd bring this up because all of us here have done this program, and I'll vouch for you, David. You're right. You're right. So
And
it is
I also do have to say, um, I love a hilarious comment that was mentioned. Um, Play ball or just go to Hawaii. You have
I
a
like
good
that.
one, Aaron. Nice to see you here. So, I will, instead of playing ball, I'm just going to go to Hawaii. But, Aaron, you're going to have to show me the places to be because I've been to Hawaii and I didn't have a good guide. So, you're going to have to be our guide when we come there.
Yep.
Just putting that out there.
Okay. So you said when you're feeling super stressed out, maybe a vacation would be in the cards. And I say, you know what? That is great. That is a wonderful way to rest. As long as you know how to take that vacation and you don't take work with you.
Dude, when I
You
Right.
go
know,
on vacation, where's my laptop at? My laptop has to come, right?
no, no, no. You have to leave the laptop at home.
Not
What? I have to leave the laptop?
Yes,
How can I get my job done?
you're not going to do your job.
Oh my gosh. Is the world going to still spin around if I can't do my job?
I promise the world's still going to spin around.
The world will spin and you
Right.
won't. You won't. You will not be getting dizzy with the rest of the world because you're going to
Relax.
relax.
If I'm
I know.
relaxing, then the
It's like a
world
swear
can't.
word.
Then the world has to relax. That means the world's not going to spin
No,
either.
no, no, no. The world will continue. Life will go on. It's just you will be relaxing. But you know, the word relax is like a swear word.
Mhm.
You
You
know,
can't say that word around here.
we can't relax, but we have to relax because if we don't, then it affects our body, it affects our mind, and it affects everybody around us.
It's
Ain't that the
funny you
truth?
say that because back in the day, if you said that four-letter word that starts with a W, ends with a K, that was a bad swear word. Now it's the exact opposite. If you say that five-letter word that starts with an R and ends with an X, that's a bad word.
That's what she was saying. How did we generate this culture?
It's like when you say something over and over and over,
Mhm.
it becomes reality. Back in the day, Elvis Presley did the hip jive. It was counted sexual. Now that's just a hip jive. So they filmed them from the chest above. A few years later, Ricky Martin is doing shy of porn and it's accepted.
Mhm.
How did we go from that to this in such a short time frame? And it really gets us to think. And
We've
one
been
thing I have to
desensitized.
say is when we work on our mental fitness, it really gets focused and it really gets juvenated. Now, we have a workshop that is coming up on mental fitness to really help you out. It's your support system to strengthen your sage, your mental mindset, and really get you
Nervous.
in the right place so that you can see clearly, even
Mhm.
in all the mess that we've been talking about, having 25 million balls in front of you and you don't see any of them because you have that mental clarity.
Mhm.
Even in the midst of a storm, you don't see the storm, you see right through it. Now that sounds good. It's in the description below. We have a pod coming up. Matter of fact, starting next week. So make sure you check that out. And we also, just to say, we have an awesome community, and the community is right here on YouTube. Matter of fact, when you're in here, you just click on the community tab. It's really good, and it YouTube actually increases the community as we get more subscribers. So when you get 500, the community becomes better. When you get 1,000, it becomes better. So subscribe, join in, and be part of the community. By the way, it's free. Join and have fun. And you know what? It's only going to help you out because we have a universe directory that is in the works of being coming out. And I'll give you a little secret. The first 1,000 subscribers, they get in the directory for free. Now, the directory is going to be similar to like your Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be the Chamber of Leaders. All business owners, entrepreneurs, businesses, managements, all the different kind of things trying to promote. It's going to be who they are, where they're at. It's going to be like the directory of all directories. You want to be in this. Now,
Mhm.
it's just starting out, so it's no big deal. Who cares if you're in it? There's not many people seeing it, right? But like I said, spots are limited for the free access. And in order to be in there for free, all you have to do is be a subscriber. You unsubscribe, you're out of it. You're subscribed, you're in it. That's how simple it is. Later on, you're going to have to pay to be in it. Why not get in now while it's free? Just saying. Now, I want to bring this to you, Alisa. I know you
Mhm.
have some exciting things, and you have your link in the description below how we can contact you. But tell us a little bit about you, so I know why I want to connect with you.
Well, like I said at the very beginning, I am a coach who is very interested in you, in your listeners. And I want to empower everyone I meet. And I work really hard to help you see your own capabilities and your own successes so that you can be like the phoenix and rise from your adversity and transform into that beautiful, magnificent creature that you truly are, just like the phoenix.
Nice.
I love it.
Nice.
I already see that bird rising up.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, the visuals there. As soon as you say that, it's like, ooh,
Yep.
Yep. And Mary, is
yes.
there anything you'd like to say?
Well, the same thing I always say, David, y'all just need to do the dang thing. Whatever it is, prioritize and do it.
Yeah. Prioritize and then make adjustments.
Hmm.
Find those moments throughout the day that you can maybe take a little bit of a rest so you can push forward.
Right, right.
Well
Many
said.
siestas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well said. And you said it just right. Just do the darn thing.
Thank you, Elisa.